Hello everyone, welcome to our business podcast. Today we are going to discuss about the most important business crisis in history is Ford and Firestone crisis. To help us understand this case, we have four guest speakers joining us today. So, moderator, can you give us a brief overview of the relationship between Ford and Firestone, please?
Yes, thank you, Liku, for opening today's podcast. My name is Sita. Today, I am a moderator for this podcast today. Today, we will be discussing about Ford and Firestone. We know that they had a partnership for nearly 100 years. Ford was one of the world's biggest automaker, while the Firestone was one of the leading tire manufacturers. The founder of Ford is Mr. Henry Ford, and the founder also Firestone is Mr. Harvey Firestone. They were close friends, and their business grew together throughout the 20th century. However, in the 1990s, Saraswati programs were found with Firestone tires that are used on the Ford Explorer SUV. This program made people worry about the safety of the vehicle and gain public attention. And today we have four guests to join today's podcast. And now we will meet from Amra, who will explain how the program started.
Thank you, Bonsita. The crisis began when drivers reported tire failures, particularly tread separation. The tread separations occur when the outer layer of a tire peels away from the rest of the tire while the vehicle is moving. Many of these failures occurred on Ford Explorer SUV. When a tire failed at high speed, the drivers could lose control of their vehicles. In some cases, the SUV rolled over, resulting in serious injuries and death. Throughout the 1990s, customer complaint continued to increase, especially in hot weather regions. Unfortunately, the warning signs were not addressed quickly enough. Moderator, perhaps you can explain what happened next.
Thank you, Amra, for your clearly explanation. As the number of complaints increased, the government agencies began to get involved. Now we will meet Sakada, who explain how the government respond to this crisis.
So in 2000, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and ATSA launched a major investigation. The agency examined accident report, customer complaints, and tire failure data. Investigators discovered a pattern connecting Firestone tire failure with Ford Explorer rollover accident. So, as the public concern grew, the United States Congress decided to hold hearing in 2001. Senior executives from both Firestone and Ford Company were required to testify and answer the question about the problem. So the Congress want to know when both companies become aware of the problem and why the corrective action was delayed. The hearing attract national media attention and increase the pressure for both companies. That's all.
Thank you, Sakada, for your clear explanation. One of the most interesting aspects of the case was the agreement between Ford and Firestone. Now we will meet Bopa, who will explain what happened during the congressional hearing. Could you explain it, Bopa?
Certainly, during the congressional hearings in 2001, senior executives from both Ford and Firestone were called to testify before a member of United States Congress about the accident involving Ford Explorer SUV and Firestone tires. And what made the situation even more intense was that instead of taking shared responsibility, the two companies openly blamed each other during the hearings. Firestone argued that Ford Explorer designs made the vehicle more prone to roll over after a tire failure, and they also claimed that Ford recommended low tire pressure, increased heat buildup, and put additional stress on the tires. On the other hand, Ford strongly defended itself, arguing that the defective Firestone tire were the main cause of the accidents. Ford said that manufacturing defects and quality control lead to tread separation, which caused drivers to lose control of their vehicle at high speeds. And as the hearings continue, Congress was not satisfied by either explanations. Lawmakers believed that both companies had received early warning signs but failed to act quickly enough to protect consumers. And they also criticized Ford and Firestone for poor communication, low response, and for focusing more on blaming each other rather than solving the safety problems. And overall, the hearing also exposed serious weakness in quality control, risk management, and corporate communication and responsibility across both companies.
Thank you, Bupa, for your clear explanation. Obviously, the crisis has had serious consequences. Now we will meet Suchita. Can you tell us how the crisis ended and what impacts it had?
Thank you for your question, Bonsita. Yes, certainly, as the investigation continues, Firestone recalled approximately 6.5 million tires. Both companies faced numerous lawsuits from victims and their families. The crisis resulted in approximately 271 deaths and hundreds of injuries. In addition, both companies suffered significant financial losses and damage to their reputation. Perhaps the most important consequence was the end of the Ford Firestone partnership after nearly a century of cooperation. This case became one of the most widely studied business crises in the world.
Thank you, Suchita, for your explanation. So, Liho, do you have any idea or want to share to us, or you want to add something in this podcast?
So, thank you to all our guest speakers. Before we finish, Sitha, as a business student, what should we learn from this case?
Thank you, Liho. Our podcast today, there are several important lessons that we learn our podcast. First, a company must maintain strong quality control system. Second, customers' complaints should not be ignored. Third, business partner must communicate openly and respond quickly when problems arise. Fourth, organization should focus on solving problems rather than blaming one another. The Ford and Firestone crisis remind us that a company reputation can take a long time to build, but it can be lost quickly if a mistake is made. Thank you, everyone.
So, thank you, Sitha, and thank you to all our guest speaker. We hope this discussion have understand the Ford and Firestone crisis and important lesson it provide for future business leaders. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next video.